Good morning. It's good to be with you on this Monday morning as we continue walking together through the book of Micah. Hope you've had a wonderful weekend, a wonderful Mother's Day. I hope it was good for you and your families. For those of you who are having your first or your 10th Mother's Day without your mom, I know it can be a difficult season. So we're praying for you in this time. But today we're going to pick up with Micah chapter 7. We'll read Micah 7. We're gonna actually, when I was reviewing and reading this, I decided to combine two sections because I think it fits so well with one pivotal verse. So we're actually going to read chapter 7, verses 1 through 13. Where it reads this: What misery is like mine? I am like the one who gathers summer fruit at the gleaning of the vineyard. There is no cluster of grapes to eat, none of the early figs that I crave. The godly have been swept from the land. Not one upright man remains. All lie in wait to shed blood. Each hunts his brother with a net. Both hands are skilled in doing an evil. The ruler demands gifts. The judge accepts bribes. The powerful dictate what they desire. They all conspire together. The best of them is a briar, the most upright, worse than a thorn hedge. The day of your watchman has come, the day God visits you. Now is the time of their confusion. Do not trust a neighbor. Put no confidence in a friend. Even with her who lies in your embrace, be careful of your words. For a son dishonors his father, and a daughter rises up against her mother. A daughter-in-law against her mother. A man's enemies are the members of his own household. But as for me, I watch and hope for the Lord. I wait for God, my Savior. My God will hear me. Do not gloat over me, my enemy. Though I have fallen, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. Because I have sinned against him, I will bear the Lord's wrath until he pleads my case and establishes my right. He will bring me out into the light. I will see his righteousness. Then my enemy will see it and will be covered with shame. She who said to me, Where's the Lord your God? My eyes will see her downfall. Even now she will be trampled underfoot like mire in the streets. The day for building your walls will come, the day for extending your boundaries. In that day people will come to you from Assyria, from the cities of Egypt, even from Egypt into the Euphrates, and from sea to sea, from mountain to mountain. Then the earth will become desolate because of the inhabitants, as a result of their deeds. So what I liked about these two passages, I think verse 7 is the pivot point in these two sections, and that's why I want to read them together, because I really think that verse 7 is the central point between these two. Verse 7 says, But as for me, I will watch and hope for the Lord. I will wait for God, my Savior. My God will hear me. So verses 1 through 6 talk about the continued shame and destruction and the punishment that we read last week. It says here, there's no cluster of grapes to eat. The godly have been swept from the land. All men lie and hunt. The best of them is like a briar. I thought the 3 and 4 particularly powerful to me. Both hands skilled in doing evil. The ruler demands gifts. The judge accepts bribes. The powerful dictate what they will desire. They all conspire together. Just that world of corruption, of how when the good men, when the good women, when the good leaders conspire to not help those in need, then where is justice? So contrast that with verse 8 of chapter 6 we read a few days ago. But to do justice, so we see that to act justly or to do justice is what God expects, and then we can contrast that with verse 3, where the judge accepts bribes. And the powerful dictate what they will desire. The ruler demand gifts. The corruption there, you compare that with God's desire for justice, for the law and for things to be done right. So don't put confidence in neighbors. So you see, son dishonors father, daughter rises up against her mother. You see how terrible it is. And then verse 7. In a few weeks, we're going to read one of my favorite books, which is Habakkuk. But verse 7, maybe that's why I like it, because it reminds me of one of my favorite passages in Habakkuk, where the righteous say, But I will wait. I will watch for God. I will wait for God. And God will hear me. In the midst of great darkness, in the midst of great evil and of great corruption, we'll watch for the Lord. And then the last part we read was He will bring me out into the light. I will see his righteousness. Then my enemy will see it, and they will be covered with shame. My, she who said, "Where is Lord your God? I will see your downfall. She'll be trampled. Uh, the day for building your walls will come. The day for extending your boundaries, and all will come." So you see this. I just love you see these two extremes there. The first part is about the judgment that is coming, and then the second part's about the redemption that will come. But verse 7 is that key. I will watch and hope for the Lord. I'll wait for God, my Savior. My God will hear me. I will wait. Waiting with expectant hope. When things look bad or are bad, we feel discouraged or distraught. Verse 7 is a beautiful reminder. I will wait for God, my Savior. I will watch in hope. This notion of waiting in expectant hope of what God will do. Not waiting defeatedly, not waiting with lack of hope or lack of faith, but the waiting of Simeon in the Gospels when Mary comes with the baby and Simeon says, "I have waited. My eyes have seen the glory of the Lord." He's waited for God's gift of Jesus. And now he said, "Let your servant depart in peace," because he has now seen the fulfillment he hoped for. We wait with hope. You've heard me say before, one of the greatest attacks the devil can make on us is he can get us to lose hope. And it's easy here to give up hope. But we don't do that because we have the gift of God's story, don't we? We have the gift of his holy word where we have seen him work in the past with the Israelites. We've seen him work with the apostles. We've seen him work with the church. We wait with expectant hope. We have our own stories as Christians of when God has saved us and redeemed us and restored us. We know that he has moved in the past and that he will move again. We wait with hope. So I just think this is a powerful juxtaposition of the pain and the hurt and the fear of this reality contrasted with the redemption that's going to come and the peace that holds it together. The peace that holds it together is the expectant hope. I never forget one of the more powerful illustrations I've ever heard was early in my ministry, 03, 04. Bishop Clay Lee, some of y'all know Bishop Lee. Some of you at St. Matthew's remember Bishop Lee from the time he was an interim pastor here at our church. I told a story at annual conference about he was presiding at conference because Bishop Carter was ill, and Bishop Lee was the presiding bishop, and he told a story of how many of the songs that the spirituals, the slaves would sing didn't have a basis in reality in that moment. How all God's children have shoes. Well, they didn't have shoes, but they knew that God was going to do this for them. And how many of these songs that the slaves would sing were songs of hope? Because they may not realize it in that moment, but they knew something better was coming. I think of Hebrews chapter 10. They were longing for a home that was not of this world, and therefore God was not ashamed to be called their God. I think if the devil uses lack of hope against us, I think another thing the devil does is he gets us too comfortable here. And we begin to think that this world is our home and that we're not just pilgrims passing through, but this world is our home. When the reality is it's not. We can wait with expectant hope because we know something better's coming. So I just love that pivotal verse. But as for me, I'll watch and hope for the Lord. I'll wait for God, my Savior. My God will hear me. Today, let's wait for the Lord. Let's wait with expectant hope. knowing that God will be true to his word and true to his promise, and that he will be with us always. Always. Thanks for being with us today. Tomorrow we're gonna pick up with verse 14, and we'll finish out the book of Micah. So hope you've enjoyed this part of the minor prophets, and we'll see you in the morning. Have a great day.